I am Lucky Wood, the host of the Lucky Ones podcast. Today we are joined by an amazing guest star tonight. I'm super excited to have her. Her name is Franch McGee, and yes, you heard it here first. We are going overseas. She is in the amazing continent of Australia, so I cannot wait to hear about arm wrestling in Australia and just all the major waves that she is making as a female arm wrestler out there. So welcome, Franch.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on. I'm super excited.
That's awesome. We're so glad to have you. We're just going to get kicked off right off the bat. And I just would love to know what got you into arm wrestling?
Um, well, I was at an MMA event in Adelaide that they hold here. It's the Diamondback Fighting Championship, and I was with a friend of mine who knows Matt, who runs SA Titans here. And they had an event prior to the MMA event called AWE, and it was a tournament. I think it was their TC like second tournament thing. And then after they had like an after pool that anyone could go and have a go at, my friend Kat goes, "You should do this." And I'm like, "I'm not doing that." She's like, "Yeah, no, I know Matt, he's really nice." She literally drags me over and goes, "Matt, show her what to do." And so Matt goes, "All right, give me a go." And so I did it like how you think you arm wrestle and whatever. And he goes, "Yeah, that was strong, but let's try it with some technique." I was like, "There's technique?" Um, and so he started teaching me. Now, I did jiu-jitsu. I've been involved in it since about 2016, and I kind of felt like this is jiu-jitsu for your arms, like same sort of techniques, all this sort of stuff where you can beat bigger opponents with the right techniques, and I found it really interesting, so I fell in love with the sport.
Love that. That's awesome. This is one of my co-hosts, Stephanie Spencer. She's out in California, so a little closer. Or I guess
Hey,
further away. I guess it depends on which way you go in the universe, if it's
I don't
closer or
know.
further away. I don't
I
know
have to say
either.
geography is not my strong suit.
Right. So welcome, Stephanie. How you doing, love?
Good. I
Hey,
was only 1 minute late today.
I'm so proud of you. I'm very proud of you. And we only asked one question, so we're on question 2. So you can be the
Oh
evens and I'll be the odds, because I'm the oddball anyway.
no, I'm odd too. Maybe we're all odd.
I think that's probably more the case.
That's the funnest part about it.
Right?
100%.
So, how do you say your name? Franch?
Franch. Yep. Like ranch, but with an F.
That's awesome. What does your name mean? What, like, tell us?
So actually, my given name, I don't really go by except to like family or friends that have known me for like 20 plus years. My last name used to be Franceschini, and then it just turned into French and it stuck. Like my work ID says French. I don't really go by my actual name. I don't like it because people shorten it and I hate the nickname.
Well,
Gotcha.
oh, I love
That
it.
makes
What a
See,
great
that's like
story.
me. That's like me with Lucky. Lucky is not
Yeah.
my actual real name. My parents did not name me that, but
Is it Lydia? Oh,
maybe.
sorry,
You're good.
sorry.
It
There.
unfortunately is. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, for my parents'
It's a
sake, I
pretty
like my
name,
name. I appreciate it. Yeah, there's just some
but
backstory
I get
behind
not
that. So
liking.
I
My
just
mum loves my name, and I get not liking the name, so it's fine. I'm there in solidarity.
appreciate you.
Franch,
Appreciate you.
what's your favorite thing about the sport? What do you love about arm wrestling?
Um, I'm quite fascinated by the tech, like the fact that a technique can mean that you beat someone twice your size. But I also just really love the healthy masculinity in our club specifically, which is where the guys are, they're gonna hate me for saying this, but they're super cute, right? Like you got these guys and they're all working to get real strong. And one guy came a few weeks ago and he had a couple of extra stretch marks, and the guys were like, "Look at those, you've been working hard," and they're all cheering him on. And I'm like, I love this. This is so healthy and so cute. But the man that said that is 6'8", so please don't tell him.
He had stretch marks.
Yeah, like on his bicep where he's like all
Oh
gotten
my
all bigger.
god.
Yeah, these guys take it real serious here. And and I'm like, I don't even go to the gym, so hello.
Do you get so
That's
like who do you train with?
I train with SA Titans here in Adelaide. It's run by Matt Hollywood. Connolly. It was
Shout
founded
out to Matt. We
by
love him. He's great.
Yeah.
Matt is a legend. And it was founded by Tim, who goes by the Viking years ago. And so I think Matt's sort of taken over from him, but they're awesome guys. The club's really cool. Like I was one of the only girls there. And they were so patient. They showed me so much. They're such a good club. I love the club here.
That's awesome. Oh, very cool. So when you're not arm wrestling and when you're not hanging out with the club, what are you up to?
I work in insurance and I actually love my job, as lame as that is. But I sing. I love music. I used to be in bands up until September last year, and that ended, and I
What
decided
did
to
you
take a
play?
bit of a break. I sing mostly, but I
Okay,
can
okay.
play I can play some piano and drums as well, but in the band I was just a singer. I do jiu-jitsu as well when I'm not injured. I seem to constantly injure myself. I'm a little bit accident prone. I've got two kids. The oldest is 13 and the youngest is 3. So that's
Oh
nice
wow.
and busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the best
That's
of both
about it.
worlds. The teenagers and the toddlers.
Yeah, teenagers and actual teenagers, and they're both as attitude filled as each other at the moment. But
So
that's good.
what does training look like for you?
Um, well, we train every Sunday night, and I will do warm-ups. There's one guy there, we're pretty evenly matched, and we will pretty often just have like an all-out war just to try and like tear those muscles and get them stronger and see if, my technique's improved because his cup is ridiculous. This guy, it is just stupidly strong and it bothers me. I can't quite get past it. So I just work on improving that technique to one day get past that cup and then just, because we're so even, like it's a good just strength training. Um, and then I've got other guys that for me, I'm a slow starter. So I've been working heaps on the setup to try and get that stronger because a lot of the faster opponents will, I want to stop their pin before I'm like, oh yeah, the match has started, let's go. So I work on that a bit. Just any techniques that I want to improve, that's what training at a club looks like. I don't really do much at the moment outside of, I do like the squeezy things for your grip.
Right.
I'm really good at the technical names of stuff, clearly. And I have a stretch band that goes around the foot of my bed that I do like the cup one with. And that's pretty much it. Like I have done jiu-jitsu since 2016 and there's a lot of transferred strengths and skills. There's a lot of grips in that. So that's worked when I started arm wrestling, but I don't gym, I don't lift weights, I want to, but I just don't have the capacity at the moment, so it is what it is.
Do you have some skinny guys that you get to beat up on? Or are all the guys
Yeah,
big and tough?
well, do you know what? It's funny. There's a match on my YouTube where I had with a guy who's about 6'3". He's 110 kilos, and I beat him for nothing with no strap. As soon as he put the strap on, he beat me, which is annoying.
Ooh.
But there's a couple guys that I can sometimes get a win on. But we have some massive dudes in this club, and they're just really nice and let me have a go.
I
Yeah.
know that 110 kilos is more than 176 pounds, so I know that's impressive.
Yeah, sorry, I forget you guys do pounds. I can do it. I can do it. Please hold, and I'll calculate. Where are we, maths? Okay, so 110 kilos is 242 pounds.
That's impressive. That's
Thank
awesome. Hi, Casto.
Hey,
Girl, I cannot wait to send you my message. You're gonna be so proud of me from today.
Did you win?
I didn't, but I did win matches though. I got pins, and yeah, it was good. But I'll tell you guys about it in the group chat later.
I
This is
love that
about
you
me
guys
and my
have.
friends.
No. I love that you guys have so many like female tournaments. That's something we don't have the numbers here to do that yet.
Right.
I had my first tournament in December and I had to go in the men's bracket because there was no other women in the comp.
Right.
And so I'm super jealous of the fact that you guys have those women's matches and tournaments. I think it's really cool and I can't wait till we get a little bit bigger here and we can do that too.
Yeah,
Well, that
I'm
probably means. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I know that is one big thing that I kind of related to when Matt was talking about you and like your background and really like being like a trailblazer, because like for me here in Virginia I was the only female, and when we did like the rankings I had to pull with in the men's, or I didn't have to, but they let me pull
Yeah.
with the men, and that was awesome. And now we're slowly growing to where I have there are twin sisters, and one of the twins, she's still regularly practicing with a team up here that's not too far from me. And then my team actually just got its second female, and she's actually a power lifter, and she's crazy strong, and I'm so super excited to finally have somebody local that so when you get that person, and for me it was 7 months coming. So hopefully you don't have to wait that long. Hopefully she'll be right around the bend.
last week we actually had four, including myself, four women in our training session, which was really cool. So
That's
awesome. About 3 months after I joined, this guy came and brought his girlfriend Sarah, who's I had a match with her. It was her first match, and it was my actual first match with a woman as well. So that was really cool. And she's pretty frequent. She's awesome. Her technique is like coming up so quick. She's just really good. And there's a girl, Tamika, who started coming. She lives about, oh, I'm so bad at distance. I think it's about 4 hours away, or 2.5 hours away. I always forget which port she's from. She drives 2.5 hours to come to training every 2 weeks. And she's really tall, so she's got forearms the size of tree branches, which is a great advantage for her. And like she's getting like her techniques improving really rapidly as well. And then we had a girl, it's her first time last week, and she lives at the gym, and so she's quite strong, and looking forward to seeing, like, hopefully she'll come back and we can get some technique, and I'm looking forward to see how much she'll smash it as well.
The good thing about not having very many girls is that you could be number one. This could be a positive. Like, hey, I am number one in the whole country because there's only 10 of us. But
Yeah,
that
well,
doesn't mean
I'm number
anything.
one now. I'm the number one female. It was just me for a little while. Sarah's just joined me. She's the number two female now, so we're actually like ranked. I'm 35th in the club, including Sarah. There's about 39. So yeah,
But
I'm not bottom.
is it girls and co-ed?
Yeah. That's girls and guys. So there's 39 girls and guys ranked, and I'm 35th.
That's awesome.
I'll take it as a win. I'm not at the bottom.
Right. And I mean, and it's nice to be able to have goals that you can climb up for too. And and look for, like, okay, now I'm training for you. And now I'm training for you.
For me, yeah, I think I'd be super keen, like the guys, there's a guy in our club who this guy is amazing. He's all of 55 kilos, which I'm trying to do the math, so that's about 160 pounds, maybe 165 pounds. He's real small. He's about my height. His wrists are so strong. Like, he puts out this like stuff that, like, his exercise video is insane. And the first time I like arm wrestled him, trying to get past there was just impossible. I could not move him. I had a pull with him on the weekend, and I was like, actually, like, I got somewhere, and I was like, hey, this is an improvement. Give me another 3 months, and maybe I'll actually beat you. But but it's cool just seeing that progress, and I can slowly work my way up, work on the different techniques you might need to get past different strengths.
Awesome. Now, when you guys do your tournament, so I wanted to just talk to you a little bit about like arm wrestling in Australia, and like I don't know how familiar you are with how we do it in the States versus how you do it out there. But I know you said you have a club. Do you guys go against like different clubs, or do you like hold tournaments? What does that look like for you guys?
So we have like super matches within the club. But then Matt, that I mentioned before, he has a AWE. I don't know if you've heard of that, which he runs with the Stockbridge. Yeah, cool. So he runs that, and they have tournaments, and they've had, I want to say 2 or 3 here in SA now, and so you can enter those, and we'll get people from outside the club, from interstate. Brett Coots, who's from Victoria, has come over to do it. Some big names here will jump in, so that's really cool. I haven't been in long enough. There is a nationals, which I think is at the end of the year. I started arm wrestling not long before it was on last year, and I was not confident to jump in because I had to fly there, and it's just a little bit hard, with kids and work and everything, when I just had no idea what was happening. So I thought I'll just wait till next year and be a bit more familiar before I'm like planning for that. But they do have like state stuff, but can be a bit difficult to get to because our states are far away from each other. It's not just I don't know how far like your nearest next state is, but for me to go to Melbourne is an 8-hour drive, which is the closest one, but they're in Brisbane, which is about a 3-day drive, I think.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It is.
I'd be learning how to fly.
Yeah.
So
But,
who do you look up to who do you look up to in the sport? Like, who is your favorite person?
That's a really hard question because I haven't sort of found one arm wrestler that I'm like just that one person. I see different arm wrestlers and be like, that's a really cool thing they did. I want to try and do that. And I've taken that from quite a few people. For instance, Matt with his setup, he's a bit like me. He's not fast, and I've learned from him how to sort of set up and get ready for like those quick where the opponent's quick so that I don't get that flash pin. That's something I've taken from him. We have this kid Hamza in our club who's insane. He was the 90-kilo national champion as well, and he's really fast, but he does this more of a hook thing. So I worked with him a lot on that because I thought what he did there was really cool. So I'll just take bits and pieces from different people, more so than have one person. I'm like, that person. For arm wrestling especially. But yeah, sorry, I probably didn't answer that very well.
No, that's great.
That's perfect. Sorry. What do you want to? Do you want to tell us kind of about your favorite match that you've had so far? Like, would it be against the 110 guy, or do you have like another one that kind of sticks out to you?
Do you know what? The 110 guy match was fun because he sort of challenged me thinking he was going to get the win, and he didn't. So that was cool. But I have to say, I really enjoyed my match against Sarah because it was my first like girls match, but also the first one we had, I didn't load properly, and so she got me there and I had to work all the way, and I was like, this is very exhausting and I'm not doing that again. So I then had to like work on that technique of like loading up and getting that good starting position. And so I sort of seeing the improvement and just the difference and was like, hey, I nailed something. That was really cool. And it was just really nice, like being able to have a match with a girl, to be honest. That was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So what do you think is some of the good or bad differences between the arm wrestling in Australia or in some of the other countries?
I'm super jealous of how much more exposure and opportunities you guys have over there. And even like India and the UK, like it's a lot bigger and less weird than it is here. Like when you say to someone here, I do arm wrestling, they're like, oh, you should wrestle that. And I was like, that's so not even the same. Like,
oh,
I'm not getting knocked out for fun by nobody, you know? Whereas, so like just that whole, like no one really knows about it. It's not a thing and people think it's really weird, or especially as a girl, like if you arm wrestle a dude that's not in the club and then you beat them and then they generally follow up with really gross questions and it's like, you're a pig. But That's probably my least favorite, is the fact that it's just so niche still, and that people just think it's weird and they don't understand there is technique. There is a lot of stuff that you have to learn to get good at it. Or the first thing, oh, did you break your arm? Like, it's like, well, if you're doing it properly, you're not gonna break your arm. But yeah, I guess that's what thrusting is so much more well known over, like in America and in India and the UK, and it's a lot more like the UK. They have the armed gods. The events they have are insane. They're like almost MMA matches. They have that following. They have that vibe, and it's a lot of fun. We don't have that. We don't really have the capacity to do that here yet.
I can see that for sure. But I think even for us, it's still fairly niche as well. I forget. I think my trainer says it, and there's other people who have said it, that like it's very much like Fight Club, where like if you don't know about it, you don't know about it. But then when you know somebody in it, you know everything about it. And so it's like then all the names and everything.
Yeah. There was a little bit of like controversy, for lack of a better word. We had a newspaper heading in South Australia this week, and this man had murdered his partner, but the paper had billed him as a professional arm wrestler, and he's not. He's just someone that had that on his Facebook bio. He hasn't trained in forever. Was not a such, but like, because no one really knows about the sport, all they know is, oh, arm wrestlers are murderers. You know what I mean? It's like we don't have. And so it's a bit of a debate, because people are like, oh, there's all these other sports people that do bad things and no one hates on the sport. I'm like, yeah, but people know other people in that sport who didn't do bad things. Whereas this is going to be probably one of the only people they know from arm wrestling, and he's a murderer. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't. So it was a bit of a like.
Like saving puppies from burning buildings. So it could be like arm wrestler saved a puppy from a burning building.
Yeah, I'll get the guys. I'm going to have to like start making them do like community service stuff and do all these nice things, getting cats down from trees and stuff.
Yeah, cats. That is a little less dangerous than a burning building.
Yeah.
Franch, brag on some of your accolades. Show us your medals. What if you like? What's your favorite? Like, I don't see anything in your background where like we.
I don't have any arm wrestling medals. I do have some jiu-jitsu medals.
Oh, that's cool.
My first comp, I did a state championship in 2017, I think. And I got silver in my weight div and bronze in open weight. And then the next one, I got silver in my weight div, but then I also chipped my bone in my elbow, tore the ligaments, and sprained the tendons in that. Well, yeah, so that was annoying. I was a finalist in South Australia. I think I was the third for the World Karaoke Championship. So it's a world competition, and I was third in our state.
I love that. That's awesome.
So, just some weird accolades.
No, those are cool.
No, those are really cool.
Very.
Thanks.
So you're building a sport.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And you're getting the information out there. You got some women coming to your club now, which is awesome. So what are you hoping to kind of achieve in the future? Like where's kind of like where would be like the peak that you're looking for when it comes to arm wrestling?
I do want to. You said come to Florida. I would freaking love to come to Florida. But so I wanna get overseas and do some tournaments overseas. I want to get a belt in arm wrestling. That's what I want. I want to win a tournament at some point, and I want to have my belt or my whatever from arm wrestling. That's what I want. That's what I aim to achieve at some point. Hopefully sooner rather than later, because I'm gonna be breakable in a few years.
I don't have a belt. You have a belt?
How old are you?
I'm 36.
I am 56. You've got a few more
Awesome.
years.
Well, see,
Christy, do you have a belt?
I'm basing that solely on my body. My body is very breakable already. Like last year, I tore my ACL and smashed the cartilage in my knee. I fractured my elbow about 7 weeks ago. In December last year, I'm just breakable. I'm accident prone and breakable. So it's not like an age thing across the board. Just me. My body and sports are not great friends.
But you're doing great. You're doing great.
I'm trying. But yeah.
No, that's really cool. And so I think, do you guys, so are belts like the regular thing that you guys like pass around, or like would that be like a specialty thing?
So the first tournament I saw was the AWE one, and it was at DFC, and they had belts. The guys were competing for a belt, and I was like, damn, I want a belt. That's what I saw. I'm like, yeah, I want that. That would be cool. And I want to have it on my wall. So people are like, hey, what is that from? I'm like, arm wrestling.
Right?
That's what I want.
Yeah. For us, we have some people that do belts here, but like Peyton, who I had, she's from Canada. She was talking last week. She's going for her second belt, and I feel like it's more popular other places. What do you ladies think? Yeah.
Do you have a
Yeah,
belt?
it is.
I thought you would have a belt for sure, Christina.
Me? No.
Yeah.
No, none that I've ever done have ever done belts.
I have 2 belts, but they're both for strict curl.
Yeah.
That's still pretty
Franch,
awesome.
work on your strict curl and come out here and get a belt.
Do a what now? No, I want an arm wrestling belt, and I'm gonna make I'll make Matt do a women's only. You guys can come over and fight me for the belt.
Okay. Let's get some
I will let you have the belt. I'll just be like,
I'll share it with you.
There we go.
Be a community belt.
Okay, right. There you go. We I've personally witnessed one belt match ever in arm wrestling out in California. And that was like 2 people going head to head. And so that was fun. That was really cool to see. But I can't really think of anybody else.
I pulled in a belt match.
I'm trying to find a photo that I'm going to send you, Lucky, which is from the last belt match that I was watching. And I got to hold the belts, and I was like, you can see by the grin on my face.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool.
Oh, I love that. That's amazing. That's amazing.
So
okay, now I kind of want one too.
Oh,
see, that's cool.
I want to see the photo. I wish you could flash it up here because everybody wants to see the photo now.
I'll see if I can make it. Hang on.
I should be able to let you guys. Yeah, you can share the screen, or that works too.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
So like, why would you not want one of those?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly.
So what's your next event? What are you doing next?
They do have nationals this year, and the guys in my club are bullying me to go to that. I'm terrified, but I want to, so I'll try and aim for that. There is a lady here, Nat Coots. She's in Victoria. She's incredible. And I've been offered to have a match with her at some point when I can get over there. So that is so they're the 2 next things that I want to do.
I don't have Make it a belt match.
Well, I have to get someone who'll give me a belt.
Yeah.
Hey?
Do you have to qualify for the nationals, or do you just show up?
I think you just have to show up.
Wow.
From what I've been told.
That's really cool.
But you have like, I'm pretty sure if you lose one, you still get another shot, but once you lose 2, you're out.
Okay, yeah, we do double elimination as well too.
That's the word I wanted. Thank you, Lucky. How is it after 10 o'clock there and your brain is still working better than mine?
It's called manic. It's called a manic state. When we hang up, I will be passed out in the passenger seat as I head to my hotel.
I have to ask, why are both of you or 2 of you in your cars? Is
I'm
that a
driving.
theme that I missed?
No.
No. Stephanie always in her car. First, that's where she hangs out the most. Her car loves her. And then for me, I just finished up at Michigan State, and so I'm driving back down. But we're stopping in Indiana, one of our states, Indiana. We're stopping in Indiana. And then driving the rest of the way tomorrow. But I'm visiting. I have my birth family in Indiana, so we're gonna do a meet and greet tomorrow for lunch.
Cool.
So pray for me.
Oh my God, why is it bad?
And I'm in bed because I cooked all day at school, at camp. So I'm
Oh,
tired.
what did you cook? I like food.
Right. It's
Food's up there with my favorite thing.
What'd you cook, Christina?
I'm waiting.
Today I cooked for lunch. They had hot dogs and tater tots, and for supper they had chicken tenders and homemade macaroni and cheese.
Typical, isn't it? But
I've
still,
been invited back because it was the best mac and cheese they ever had.
oh, yeah.
I bet. I miss mac and cheese.
I couldn't eat any of it, but the wheat.
Right. Yeah, if I bring it, I can eat the hot dog. I could eat the hot dog, but why would I want to?
So, Franch, what advice would you give to a new person, someone who just wanted to start out in arm wrestling?
Do it. Just do it. Make sure you find a club where they'll take the time to show you how to do it safely, so that you don't injure yourself, but just show up. It's not as scary as you think it's going to be, I guess would be my advice. Because I think, like, when I try and invite, like, friends that I have, they're like, oh, I'm not as strong as you. It's no point. I was like, that's not the point. The point is you don't have to be that strong. Like, you'll get there, but also there's heaps of technique. There's other stuff to do. So yeah, I think just that mentality of I have to get strong first. No, just show up.
Yeah, that is, you are correct, because that's just one thing that they just, here in the States, if they know certain people are going to be there, they just don't show, because they just, you've been doing it for so long, blah blah blah. And we just had they invited the top 12 women in the North America, and
Wow.
I said that was great, because I mean, there was one time I knew that I could beat somebody, and so I tried to go through that real fast, and then the ones that I couldn't beat, at least they're there. They're showing up to pound on me. And then, like, Lucky over here, she was the underdog and she still showed up. I mean, and that's one thing I told him. I said, if she's showing up, let her show up. Don't force her out. Because there were other women that were invited above Lucky, and she is the only one that said yes. So given that opportunity, I've been there.
I wasn't sure if you'd frozen or were really thinking about your answer.
Right. Well, considering how mean she is to me, she has to think of nice things to say. It takes her a while.
But they're the best friendships to have.
Yeah, definitely. The fake rivalry, because you really love each other.
Yeah, and having that person that will 100% call you out, though, as well, is really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, 1000%. And I think that's why, I knew that I was going to love Casto when we met in person, and we were just going to, click. There was that hope, there was that thought in the back of my mind. I was like, ooh, I hope we do. But, most of me was like, yes, it's going to be awesome to meet her in person. And, but I had to give her, as much crap as possible, because I knew she was just going to, completely eat me alive on the table. But I tried to do, in their head and be like, are you though? Are you sure you're going to beat me?
I won't lie, I'm not very good at taking things seriously. Like I'll give it my but like the mind games don't work on me because I'm like, are we serious right now? And I had my the first the
I
first
love that
tournament
he's
in
friendly like
December.
that.
I know, it's brilliant. This is where you need screenshotting stuff. But
Right?
the first tournament I went into in December, this guy that I went up against, and I got up there and he's like, I can smell your fear. And I was like, no, that's called perfume. You'll learn about it one day. Like, because
You
like,
should
don't,
have
it's
said that.
stupid.
You should have said that's my pheromones. Is it scaring you away?
Oh, no, but I'm not real good at the mind games. And like oh my gosh, I don't like being yelled at. And some of the guys, they'll like yell in each other's faces. And I said to one of the guys, I'm like, genuinely, I think if someone screamed in my face, I'd probably just cry. Like, I wouldn't know what to do. I would just cry. And so now he will jokingly pretend to like scream in my face or like, they razz me up about it because I'm not very good at being yelled at. And one of the other girls, Sarah, in our club, she's trying to get me to yell while I have matches. I'm not yelling at other people. I don't even like being yelled at. She's
Right.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
it
just be
boosts your
yourself.
strength. It's like
Yeah.
I'm just, yeah, I'm not
I think that
making
that's
weird noises.
actually something big that's being pushed in our state right now, or in our state in the States, is like the characters and
Yeah.
the over dramatized
Over-dramatized.
of
Yeah.
matches, and and like trying to find that place for it within the arm wrestling community for us. And like for me, it's just like I don't want to be a character. I just want to be Lucky. And granted, that's not technically my real name, as we've already talked about, but I still want to be me.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
already characters. We don't need to be extra.
Absolutely. And like, so I like MMA, like UFC, and you've got some of the fighters are these big characters and stuff, but then they end up like disrespecting their opponents. And I think in this sport and in MMA, there is no room for disrespect to your opponents because if it wasn't for them, you couldn't do what you were doing. They're putting their body at risk so that you can do what you're doing. And so I think, just be you, be respectful, have fun doing it, and do you like I don't know, like I find like there's a level where I'm like, play it up, I guess, the event, or do your marketing and whatever, but don't make it rivalry, not rivalry, don't make it disrespectful to your opponent. Don't slag off them or whatever to be a character, to be like I don't see that. I don't like that. Like Conor McGregor is one of my least favorite UFC fighters because of that. Like I'll admit, yeah, he's a great fighter, but his character makes me not like him, and I don't want him to win ever. Which is really disappointing for me so far, but
I was gonna say, I don't think that hate is feelings.
but
is not fueling. I think that hate is fueling him. I think that's what's happening to you. You can just
yeah. Although he's had a couple of really bum matches, and I don't know if he reckons he's coming back, but we'll see. We'll see. But like for me, like we've got Rob Whittaker, who's an Aussie UFC fighter, and he is like the epitome of respectful to his opponents. He's doesn't badmouth anyone. He takes his losses like a champ. Like when that's what I want to be in this sport. I want to be that person where people look at him and they're like, yeah, that's a good sports person. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, she's good, but oh man, she's, a terrible role model or anything like that. I don't ever want to be that.
right.
That's awesome.
I love that. Great answer.
I know.
Thanks.
So
I'll get my gold star after.
At practice yesterday, I was not very inspired to practice or to pull as much as usual because all the guys that are kind of weak and about my level weren't there. And I felt like I'm just pulling all guys and everybody's stronger than me. And it wasn't very challenging. And I was wondering, Franch, you're probably have been pulling with just the guys for a long time until you finally get a girl. How do you keep it going? Like, how do you keep inspired when it feels like either the guy's letting you, like, it's not like you don't get a real battle and you really get to win anybody.
Yeah. When you yeah, I feel
This
like when you
practice
have nights,
feel like that at all.
well,
Well,
that's true.
I know, I know that's what's okay. So maybe it can inspire me with some real talk.
For me, it's like, okay, yeah, maybe I can't beat them, but if I can be better than I was last time against that person, or if I can hold them off better, if I can get my cut better or something, then I'm like, I'm still winning. Like I've gotten better than I was last time. And, when they're stronger, they're gonna really test my muscles and that's gonna help them get bigger, you know? Like if I'm
Yeah,
actually just gonna go for it, that'll get me stronger so that when I'm now against someone else back to my size, it's gonna be way easier. And I
I feel
guess
like
so,
that.
like
Yeah,
I did jujitsu for a long time where it was a very similar thing. There was often I was the only girl. And so the guys that you're up against are going to be bigger or stronger. And it's like, well, I might not be able to beat them maybe because our, technique is the same level. But if I can hold them off better, if I can get one sub, I'm stoked. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just about, and then when you do have your events against people your size and the same gender, and you can then beat them easier because you're always against big, strong males. So it's helpful.
yeah. I guess I needed to hear that. I understand all of that, but maybe the thing is that it's just not as fun. Like the fun of having other ladies or even people that you're matching your strength is not there, and then you train hard, and then your arm's just tired, and it's still fun, but not as fun as if you would have some real battles that were like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm lucky we've got a few guys in our club that are not um like they're definitely hard, but they're about my size and they're pretty frequent. So even when there's no girls, there's at least a couple of the guys where like one guy in particular, we do get to have a real battle most times. Neither of us like he can beat me once he wears me down, or sometimes if I wear him down first and I can get past his cup, I can beat him. But generally we're very evenly matched and we do have that real battle, which is fun. And he's pretty consistent coming. And the same with Connor. Connor's consistent. His technique is stupid. He's been training for a little while, and he's not a huge dude, but you see him against bigger guys, and his technique is ridiculous. Like he can pin these guys because his technique is so fantastic. He knows, when to adjust and when to do these things, and he's someone that's really fun to watch because of the level of technique he puts on.
I would
And
love it for
uses
you to
them.
take a few videos and share them with us. I would love to
Absolutely.
see some of your practice videos, and I think we might have a little room on our channel for some shorts. Huh, Lucky?
Yeah,
We'd love to
we've
put
got
some
Absolutely.
training
shorts
tonight,
on.
so
Yeah.
I'll make sure the boys are wearing shorts. Yep.
No,
Shorts.
Sorry.
that's just what they're called, but that's hilarious. Yes.
Get him in the strap.
No,
We
we've
want
got,
the video of you
sorry.
pinning him. Sorry.
Well, that's on you've got that on my YouTube, but I will get some video. We've got training tonight, so I'll get
Oh
some
yeah.
video of the
Hey, what
guys.
is your YouTube so I can put it in the chat so people can go subscribe to your channel?
So I'm a massive Harry Potter fan, and my YouTube is McGonagall.
Okay, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look right now.
You're gonna have to spell that.
You found it?
McGonagirl. McGonagall instead of McGonagall from Harry. I don't know if anyone else watches Harry Potter or loves it like I do, but
Okay, my phone is super slow. Say it again. M what?
McGonagall.
Oh,
And I will be putting
and it says, and you're singing.
yeah, my singing and everything's up there. And
Awesome.
I'll be putting up my match with Sarah on there. It's on Matt's YouTube at the moment, and I need to do some tech stuff, which he taught me how to do yesterday, which I will do and put that match up there too.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Love
guys.
that. Yeah, so it's in the chat, everybody. So make sure you guys go check it out, please, and thank you. Got you another
Thank
subscriber.
you.
So
No, I subscribed too. She got 2 subscribers.
you got 2
Aw,
subscribers.
thanks, guys.
I think it would be
I'm
awesome
super
if you
comfy.
could
I'm
get.
sitting here in my
Yeah.
my velvet green track pants and my velvet chair, and I'm super snuggly and comfy right now. So this is great.
That's
This is
awesome.
the best podcast ever.
Well, like I said, like we like being chill and just enjoying, like, you know, awesome guests like you that come on and just make it something really special. So
Chill is cool. I was on a podcast with Matt a few months, like probably 2 or 3 months after I started arm wrestling, and they had Paul Maiden from Arm Gods as a guest. And it was a lot of fun, but I spent majority of the podcast just getting made fun of by Paul Maiden. He is a very funny guy, puts on some great events, and the banter was very, very good.
do you remember
But
which
I had
one
used,
it was? Was it Matt's, or was it a different podcast? Or
yeah, it was Matt's podcast, Matt and Dave's podcast, and they had Paul Maiden as one of the guests.
the 98 podcast, or does Matt have a different one that he
Oh,
does?
sorry. No, it was the. He's gonna kill me because I'm not bad. I'm not good at names.
No, you're good. We'll edit this out. He will never know.
Matt, if you're watching, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Matt, if you're watching, you better write a comment and say hi.
Yeah,
to
Matt,
us.
if you're watching, put the name in. Why do I not have this here? It's the AWE podcast.
Okay. I think I
Yeah,
subscribed to
so
that one already. So
yeah, so he
I'll
had
go
that
back
one
to it.
with him and Dave, and they had Paul Maiden on, and yeah, Paul is very, very funny, very no filtered, which suits me fine. But I think English humor is a lot more blunt, which I love, but it's not something you used to. So you sort of have to like, oh wow, okay, this is
Right.
hectic. I
Yeah.
can't even repeat any of the stuff he said because none of it is appropriate. So
We appreciate you. Although last week our girl Merlene turned this into a PG-17 podcast, but we try to keep it around PG-13.
I hope you understand I'm behaving myself very much because I'm
we very
sometimes
much
not very
appreciate it.
filtered.
Even if you chose not to, that's okay. Like I said, Merlene was just like, we going this way, and I was like,
I'm gonna turn this car around.
right. But that's just me, and the teacher in me, unfortunately, sometimes outweighs the fun version of me. But I can appreciate.
I have the parent version of me, and then as soon as my kids are not around, it's like, all right, I live in the gutter now. This is where I am.
That's awesome. Well, that's cool. Yeah, Matt said that he was going to try to come over and do a AWE over here in the States, and you should 100% come if he decides to.
It'll depend when, as I'm trying to build a house here, and I don't know what your market is like, but it is stupid expensive here, and a single income, so that makes it a little bit harder. But maybe if I can get some sponsor or I can get some fundraising, I'll definitely make the effort because it would be such a cool experience. I would love to go. Although one of you has to take, I will make every effort to come if one of you take me to Harry Potter World.
Where's it at?
It's in Universal in Florida.
I've already been there.
Well, I haven't, and
I got you.
I will probably cry with joy and excitement, but one of y'all has to take this is all Harry Potter tattoos, by the way. Like when I tell you I love Harry Potter, I love Harry Potter. So I will make every effort to come, but one of you has to take me to this place because I don't want to go on my own and get lost. I'm
trying to think of who. Oh, Sarah Bachman's in Florida. We got you. Great. I'm gonna say Pro Gear is gonna sponsor. I'm putting it out there. Sarah Bachman. Hey, homie. How's it going, bestie? Remember I met you at the invitation? We like listening.
And the belt. Don't forget the belt.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I'll get Matt involved with the belts, and then someone take me to Harry Potter World.
Right? Yeah, no. Yeah, so Matt can just fund you. Matt can just make a little belt, fund you on over here. And that, see, Matt, I did you a favor. And it wasn't really a favor because I was really excited to have her. So it was a low key, like, you
Is
did me a
Matt
favor
rich?
letting her out here. I don't know, but he's gonna be spending his money on getting France out here. French. I said
I'll
France.
I'll
French.
fundraise. I don't know. I'll start like arm wrestling people in Rundle Mall for money. I'm like, if I can beat you, you
There's
give
a
me
guy
20
that
bucks.
does that. There's a guy that does that. He does 20. He sets up a table and he does $20. And if you beat him, you win the 40. And if he beats you, he keeps the 40. He's done like 7 so far. I think he's won like 4.
Maybe I'll do that. So I'll take on the girls and I'll get one of the guys take on the guys, but he can give me the money that he wins. And I'll just
There you go. There you go.
trying to
Or he can
think which of the guys in the club. I'll get Stretch. He's 6'8". There's ain't nobody beating him.
But you know, you
I
gotta
got
get
this.
one of the little ones that are like super like hustle. Like,
Yeah.
please, sir, can I have some more? And then just bam.
Oh dear.
That
Hopefully
would be
none of
so
the guys see this till after training tonight so they don't all beat me up for putting them in, like, volunteering their services to get me money.
right. Hang on. Sorry, Drew. I already posted the AWE channel above. Yeah, thank you. I think I did subscribe to it.
Are you a passenger? Or are you driving? Are you
I'm
parked?
passenger. No, yeah, I'm parked. So we in the Panera. Shout out to Panera. We in the Panera parking lot right now.
100% don't know what that is.
Oh,
It's
fair
like
enough.
a bakery and it's not even that good.
It is overpriced hospital food if you get their
Stephanie
actual.
is throwing shade.
Hospital food is better.
No, it's not.
What is hospital food?
That's
Note to self,
okay.
don't go to Panera when I'm in America.
Yeah, do not. No, there are so many amazing places that we can just take you that is not Panera. You need to go with like a true American, because the places that you need to go are the places where you're like, am I gonna like make it out of here alive? Those are the places with the best food ever. And they're never in the tourist spots. They're never where like everybody's like, let's go over here. No,
No,
you
she
gotta go
needs to come to California.
Hey, look, if there's good steak, I'll go wherever.
my girl. 2 weeks ago we talked about that because I found out that stupid Cracker Barrel, which is another place that you don't know.
I've heard of Cracker Barrel.
Okay, they have a new York strip and they put a garlic butter on it, and it is literally the best steak. Like, it rivals any steakhouse I have ever been to that sells New York strip. And I'm just like,
Okay.
I have another one today. But for some reason this it was my least favorite of them all so far because they put the Monterey grill seasoning on it and it was just too much. And I was like, this doesn't go with the garlic butter, but that's neither here nor there.
If you guys ever come to Adelaide, there is an Argentinian steak place here, which is my absolute favorite. They sous vide the steak first and then they cook it over the flame. And the flavor is so good, and they have it with a chimichurri sauce, and it's like, that's good. But my dad's a chef, so he taught me how to cook steak. So I cook a lot of steak myself, medium rare, salt, pepper, and oil, nothing else. Just give me the steak.
I just go to the discount bin, and whatever steak is on sale because it's about to be old, I bring it home and I put butter in the pan and a pair of kitchen scissors and I cut it up and do the seasoning. And then if you have a big thing of mashed potatoes with lots of butter, you can always just mix that together each bite if your steak didn't turn out good.
Fair. I'm doing the carnivore diet right now, so there's no more mashed potatoes in my life, and it's kind of depressing me a little bit.
I did carnivore diet for a little while when they were trying to work out what was wrong with my body, and it was pretty good. Except I'm one of those people, I hate going to someone's house and be like, oh, sorry, I can't eat that. You know, when they cook whatever they cook. So that's probably the only reason I didn't stick with it, is because I'm just too polite. But I felt great on it. Absolutely. Like, no bloating, never hungry. Like, it was good.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of pros. You know, I definitely have lost some power that came along with being like bigger, and especially pulling in like the larger women's class or whatnot. But I feel like when I get to where I want to be numbers wise and really focus on maintaining that muscle and maintaining the strength, then I'll be back in action. So y'all enjoy it for now. But once 176, 154, Lucky coming for you.
I definitely get that. I was before I started arm wrestling, I was about 105 kilos, which is 215, 220 pounds maybe. And I was doing jiu-jitsu at the time, and like, you know, you could just get on top of people and squish them, and it was great. And then I lost like 30 kilos, and I was like, people are just throwing me around. This is rubbish. Like, I don't like this. I need my weight back. I actually have to learn technique now and do stuff. What's this about?
Right. Fair. Well, congratulations on your 30 kilos. That's awesome. That is a huge feat, and somebody who's going through it right now. Oh, just props to you.
Honestly, like it got to a point. I was married, and it was quite not a happy marriage. There was like just DV and stuff, and when I got out of it, just being stressed and everything, and I took my son to Melbourne for his birthday, and someone took a photo, and I looked at him, I was like, man, I'm so fat, my face looks like it's been stung by a bee. Like, I just looked swollen. You know, I was like, I don't feel good. I don't think I don't like this. And that was like the final straw of like, you've got to fix this. So I'm really big on like, if you're comfortable, that's so good. For me, I just needed to be comfortable, and I wasn't. I lost 15 kilos just sort of eating better and doing all that stuff, but I just got stuck at 15 kilos, and I don't know if it's just, you know, as you get like into your 30s instead of 20s where you can just get skinny like by thinking about it. But I got stuck at like 85 kilos. I just couldn't lose anymore. And so I got put on Duramine to help me lose weight. And in the process of being on that for weight loss, I found out that I have ADHD, which was a really fun diagnosis to get because so much stuff made sense, which was really cool. So I was 34 before I got diagnosed with ADHD, and I don't medicate for it now, but like just knowing why my brain works a certain way and what I can do is so helpful. Like I've always struggled with my personality because it's too much, you know, because you don't sort of filter things the way neurotypical people do, and you're sort of having like I literally put a post on my LinkedIn yesterday because I recently had two people I know, one of them was my childhood best friend, pass away really suddenly, and there was a lot of things and opportunities which I had missed because of the whole trying to fit in and be more neurotypical and more socially comfortable, I guess. And I was like, you know what? I literally missed saying things to this person because I was trying to respect that social barrier thing. Yes, and I was like, I'm not doing that anymore because that's not me. I think people are too worried about being different or being looked at as weird, and I used to care so much because I got bullied all through school. Like you know, you're different and you don't process things different. My last marriage, my ex used to get so mad at me because like he'd be trying to give me a hug and I'd see something that had to be done, and I have to do it now because my stomach is upset. Like my stomach feels like it's like curling to a ball because I see something that needs to be done, and I'd be like, I need to go do this. He's like, what, you can't hug me fast? Like, what's wrong with you? Why can't you just wait? I'm like, I don't know, but I can't. You know, and make all that sort of making sense made me feel less like an absolute crazy person and more like, yeah, okay, I'm different, but there's a reason for it and it's okay. And I've been able to sort of embrace these differences and learn to live with them and be okay with them instead of being ashamed of who I am and being apologetic about myself my entire life. And I work where I work now. My boss is honestly just so incredibly supportive, and my whole team are so accepting. Like, I only started there in August, and I have never slotted into a workplace so seamlessly and I just have everyone go, yeah, you're cool. Like, we've got you, ever in my life. It was the most coolest experience. And it's really helped me be able to accept me, if that makes sense. So that's been a cool trip. And in true ADHD form, I can't remember where I was at the start of that conversation. Tension. I'm so sorry.
No, I love that idea because
So amazing.
I've been working on just even remembering how I was when I was in my 30s and how I didn't care what anyone thought. And maybe I got to a point where I had started to care what people think. And I'm trying to be inspired by my old self, be like, okay, well, I want to be respectful to everybody. It really does matter what the kids think. But besides that, you shouldn't really be having to worry about other people judging you or what other people think. And it takes away from like the natural conversation. As long as you're not hurtful. And sometimes you actually have to think, let me think before I say something in case it's going to hurt somebody's feelings.
I think as long as you can be proud of who you are and you can think about the interactions you have with people and not go, oh, did I really say that? That's fine. Like, I like who I am, and some of them I'm like, I don't care if anyone else does. I like me. I can be proud of what I stand for. I can be proud of the way I treat people. I'm comfortable with all of that. And I think that's the biggest thing for me is I need to be comfortable with what I do. I could not care less at this point whether other people are comfortable with it because I'm being authentic. I'm being as kind as I can, and that is what it is. I'm not a doormat anymore. I was a people pleaser my entire life. I had a very interesting upbringing. But my mum's amazing, strong woman, single for a long time, so single parent. Um, I love my dad as well. He had alcohol issues, and so there were some things, you know, and they were separated. So I had an interesting upbringing. There was so that didn't help the people pleaser side of me, where you just want to make someone love you. You know, you're trying to earn that your whole time. And I used to be a doormat. Like, I would put up with so much stuff in the interest of just having people like me. And I was like, nah, like, I will give everyone a chance, but if you break that chance, we're done. I'm not that anymore. But I'm okay with that because it's better for me. It helps me better for my kids because I'm not just the butt of everyone's everything all the time anymore. You know, I can put healthy things in place and I respect me. And so because I respect me, I expect other people to respect me.
Wow. I love
And
that.
I respect other people, obviously.
Right. No, that's awesome. And yeah, this episode could always be like life lessons with Franch. Like how to be. And
The
I love that.
ADHD mess that will forget what she was talking about 5 seconds ago on a completely different we'll get somewhere.
That's fine. That's totally fine. You're in good
Sorry.
company, I promise. And it's it's real, man. It's real, but I mean, you're real and inspiring, and that's just amazing. And I think, like, you know, a lot of the reason that this podcast is doing well is like ladies like yourself who can just so many women who are in the sport, whether they're new, veteran, you know, middle or whatever, can just watch and see like, you know, there's parts of everybody's story that people can relate to, and even if they can't relate to, they can sympathize. And just being able to tell our stories and have, you know, people have that validation of like, oh, okay. So, you know, I commend you in your courage to just be authentic and real and, you know, share things that, you know, I can only imagine. Like, you touched me, and there are things where I'm just like, oh, we're so similar, and I can't wait to like message her and be like, you know, da, 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 da. And you know, there's gonna be other parts of your story that, you know, is gonna touch somebody else, and they're just gonna be like, wow, that's awesome that she shared that, so that, you know, they don't feel alone or they don't feel weird or out there, you know. And there's people that we can all relate to each other, especially as female arm wrestlers. Like, that was one of the things we talked about today, you know, because we had, I know there was 2, 5, 9, so 16. There were 16 women that pulled today, in different weight classes. And I had made the comment to, I think it was Danielle Evanson, and just like, I love female arm wrestling because even if I have nothing in common with the lady across from me, we have arm wrestling in common, and that's enough for me to make me want to like her. and then um and then we can just build a relationship off of that, that we have this one little aspect. Because even like I said, there are girly girls. Your girl is not a girly girl. There are
My daughter is a girly girl, and I have no idea how. Like,
right.
I'm like, where?
Right.
Okay.
I used to be a girly girl.
You did.
I was never. I think the one thing I actually fought with my mum about was because you didn't argue with my mum, but like she wanted me to wear a dress somewhere. I was like, I'm not wearing a dress. I want to wear pants. She goes, well, you can not go. And I was like, fine by me. I don't want to go.
Oh my God. That is not even bad. My mom made me put on a big cone bra because I grew up in the 70s, and she stuffed it. And I was flat chested, and I was like, please, Mom, you can't do it. And they're like, you don't have big boobs, you're never gonna get a husband. Like things that could like mentally mess you up. And I did not.
My mum would have taped mine flat if I'd let her. Like my mum was complete off. She was like, you are not growing up. They are not on display. They are not.
Well, it was a shirt covering the whole thing, but like it was a really for real life 1950s cone bra that they put on me.
Oh.
They put socks in it. It was awful.
I feel really bad for laughing, but at the same time,
I wish we still had that bra so we could see how horrible it was.
No, I do not want. I've seen pictures. No. That's good enough for me.
I
feel left out.
No, I did not want like what other people thought or how looks were not important to me. What was important to me was my personality was going to outshine my looks any day, my whole life, forever and ever, even no matter how pretty I was, because that's what's most important. And that's what I took out of everybody trying to make me worry about what the neighbors think, trying to think that I needed big boobs to get a husband, all these things that were pushed on me and I'm going to rebel against. Like, I'm not going to want to do it. But I don't know if that makes me a better person or not. I just have to realize that
I think it does. I think it does because sorry. Yeah. I think it does make you a better person because you learn to not care. Like you are just going to be unapologetically you, and I think that's freaking awesome. Like how much better could you be than just like you are only going to be the best you. Like no one else can be you. So disregarding what other people want like you to be and whatever is fine because then you're being so like you and real. And I think when you're real, people can sense that and you are a lot more approachable and respectable because people know what they're going to get when they come to you. You know what I mean? Yeah. When you have people that put on this front, you don't know what's behind that. They're not someone that you go, oh, I can go to that person if I need help or support, but because you're like, I don't even know who that person is. But when you get someone like you, who is just who you are, like people see that and they can connect with that much better than were you trying to please everyone else and put on this appearance thing. I'm really a massive advocate of mental health. I'm aware this is a PG-13, you know.
No,
I was assaulted about 10 years ago, twice in the space of 6 months by two different men. And after the second one, I tried to, and I apologize if this is triggering, but I tried to take my life. And the build up to that was trying to pretend on the outside that everything was fine because I didn't want to burden anyone else with how I felt because I was like, I'm not coping, but everyone else has their own crap on. Like, I don't want to put that on other people, you know, so I didn't really talk about it and I didn't tell anyone that I was really not okay. And I had an absolute breakdown one night while trying to process what had happened to me. And I started taking some tablets and I called this service. I don't think it's not in America, but it's called Beyond Blue. So it's a service that we have here for, it's like a helpline. And I called them and I was beside myself hysterical. Like I'm sobbing to this man on the phone going, I don't know what to do. I don't want to be here anymore. I can't do this. And I had started taking some of the pills and these guys are volunteers, on this phone call, some of them. And he was like, yeah, you really don't sound like you're having a great time. And I was just like, this is not helpful. And I hung up on him. Thank God he called the cops. He called the police. So the police came to my house and they're the reason I'm not dead today. So I got the help that I needed at that time. I now volunteer with Beyond Blue here because I owe them my life. And the work they do across Australia is incredible and it is so amazing. But through all that, I've learned to it's okay to not be okay. And I know that sounds so cliche and it's such a cliche thing, but it's true. Like, if you're not okay, that is so fine. We are humans. We are not always going to be okay. And it's so important that we are in a space to be able to talk about that. And you have people in your life like you, Stephanie, and like you, Lucky, who are just you yourself that people can approach and talk to about. And that's why I talk about the stuff that I've gone through, because then maybe someone will hear it and go, hey, I can reach out to her because she's been there. She knows what I'm going through, or she'll be able to empathize with it because she's been in that place. I used to be ashamed of the stuff, the struggles, because it's like, that stigma that, oh, they're weak. But I swear, if you've gone through all that and you come through it, that's strong. That's strong.
One of the strongest people ever.
You know what I mean? And there's this, sorry to sort of just, but there is this really cool Japanese art form called kintsugi, which I love. And basically what they do is if you drop like a bowl, right? When they mend it, they mend it with gold. So this bowl ends up having all this gold through where the cracks are, and it is far more valuable than it was before. And you can see where it was broken, but that healing stuff, it makes that so much more valuable. And I feel like we as humans, that's us. Like if we can go through stuff, get broken and heal and become, and heal and learn from what we've gone through, we become more valuable to other people because we can then help them. We can help those other people. We can be that person. And it's so important to talk about this stuff because it's only a stigma if we all treat it like it's a stigma. And when you talk about it and bring it out to the open, it normalizes it and makes it a lot easier for people to get help with that because they're not worried about what people might think. But yeah.
No,
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
That's all right.
No,
I feel like for myself, I had to be strong for everybody, and I held so many things in that my oldest daughter, like a year ago, decided that she was gonna do drugs, and nobody even knew she was doing drugs. And when it came out, she just was acting crazy, and in the end, she just ended up homeless on the street, living in a tent, doing drugs, hearing voices. So she was having mental illness along with drug addiction and been in and out of jail ever since. And I hadn't heard from her for weeks, and I was worried because she always usually calls. And on my way, I made a special day where I was going to drive down to the tents and the prostitutes and everywhere and look everywhere for her. And on my way there is when I was feeling like the story you're telling that's inspiring me was that when I had the cracks happened to me right then, like it all hit me at once as I was driving there. Like I'm trying to prepare myself mentally, physically, everything for whatever I might find. What if I find her on the street, a prostitute? What if I find her in a tent with a needle in her arm? What if I hear that she's went somewhere, we look for her, she's dead? Like all these different things. And you don't know, because you're trying to be so strong for so long, you don't know until it's time to face it what it's gonna feel like. Like you had to find your inner strength to go through each thing. And then I didn't find her. She wasn't there. And then a little bit later, she's in jail, and we're so happy that she's there and hoping that somehow she's going to get the help she needs and be back with everybody and try to work on being normal again. And that, to me, that was a really tough struggle. And I wish that she had the courage to call any phone number like you're talking about. But really, she just wanted whatever the voices were telling her, nobody knows because she's not sharing it. And then she just went back out and got high again. So it was like, mental illness is, I'm not even familiar with it. I don't know. I didn't go to school for it. And I don't understand. And I know there's some support groups and the people that call you and try to help you. And she's 24 now. So it's going to be a time in her life where she's going to have to decide that she wants to get better and take her medication and be a productive person. But I think, yeah.
Sorry. There's a saying here, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And it's so true. Like, you can have all the help there, but that person has to be willing to action it themselves, especially, and well, I'm so sorry that, you've had to deal with that. I can't imagine as a parent. I honestly can't imagine having to deal with that as a parent. I really feel for you. Like, I know how much I love my kids, and not knowing where they are or if they're okay would just, your head would be in such a bad place. So sending all the love and all the hugs and support, because that's incredibly hard thing to go through. So yeah, but I hope that, she does choose to get the help she needs.
Yeah, and maybe she'll be back and come join us for some fun sports.
Yeah.
Because she did arm wrestling with me, like
Okay.
She beat me right-handed, but then after that she loved powerlifting and strict curl and all these other fun things that we did together. And maybe we'll have a great story next year and she's going to make a comeback and we'll go have some fun times. That's what I'm thinking.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. Lucky, I did see your message.
So yeah, no, I just thank you so much for just your inspiration. Like I said before, you're definitely trailblazing women's arm wrestling in Australia, and just keep it up. You're going, you've inspired me, you've inspired the people who are going to watch this, men and women, and of all levels. And I'm so excited for where the sport is going to take you, where you're going to take you, because your determination and your tenacity is just incredible. And I'm really
I'll message you when I get a belt. I'll be like,
she's gonna come to Florida for your belts. Are you coming?
Right. If I get a belt before you, I will keep my mouth shut.
If you get a belt before me, I'm coming for it.
Sounds good. All right, so if I ever win a belt, we need some sponsors to get Franch out here so we can super match for it.
Absolutely.
Then we can go to Harry Potter World afterwards.
Wait, can she do the virtual super
I'll drown my sorrows from losing to you at Harry Potter World. It'll be great.
There you go.
Franch, he could do the virtual super match on October 5th.
So I'll message you the details, but it's called On the Rise, and it's actually so what we're gonna do it kind of similar to this, but I might use a different streaming service. I might use this one. I'm not 100% sure, but everybody's gonna have a time slot, and then we're gonna virtually promote everybody's super match. So it's kind of gonna be like an East versus West feel, where it's like all sorts of different super matches throughout the day. We have, I believe, 5 or 6 so far that are already signed up all over the states, and we'd love to include you in that. If you want to grab some of us.
So I've got to find a opponent here, obviously.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. And I'm like, how are we doing that virtually? But no, that makes more sense.
It's like rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah. Coming out like this, and then it's rock, paper, scissors.
Right. It'd be like, I hook, I top roll, I press. Pin.
Super fast.
Right. Yeah, so you'll get somebody either at your club or wherever, and then you would need like ref, table, all that jazz, and then you just set up a camera just like you did today, and then when it's your slot, we would broadcast the super match. We're working on awards and stuff like that as well too, so it'll be pretty cool. Maybe
see
I'll
what I
find
can
somebody to
do.
sponsor a belt just for your match.
Yeah, or could we
What
sponsor?
I will talk to Matt. I will talk to Matt about his plans to head over there and see what I can do
Okay.
as well,
But yeah,
because
like
I'd
I
be
said,
super keen.
you can do it from Australia. You just have to have the right time zone.
Yeah, well, the thing is, there's not really an opponent here that
Fair.
I can think of that would be, yeah, like the girls in my club are great, but they're a smaller weight class than I am,
Gotcha.
so I got to
Fair
try and
enough.
find a girl that would be fair.
Definitely.
But
I respect that.
I will discuss this with you. Super
Okay.
keen.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll send you the info, and we'll chat. So, but
Awesome.
yes,
Thanks so much
I
for having me
know.
on. It was a pleasure.
Yes, it was a pleasure having you. Thank you for coming on, and good luck to you. Happy Sunday. Send us
Yeah.
the
Thank
lottery
you.
number.
Good. Have a great day, guys, or night.
Okay,
Have a good
bye.
sleep.